Mangalore. Sorry, this Monday. Last Monday we have conducted in Mangalore. So this every week we are conducting, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. You're doing in different cities?
Only these 3 locations, ma'am. Raichur, Dakshin Kannada, and Bangalore Rural.
Okay.
So we all restricted our budget and energy to that districts. So,
how is the response?
Good, ma'am. Very good. So we got roughly around 700 plus innovation ideas from these 3 districts. Out of that, we have shortlisted roughly around 200 ideas, who is pitching to the jury members. The jury members select top 5 to 10 in each district, and the top 5 will get 1 lakh seat budget.
Oh, very good.
So that will happen in Bangalore. The final handing over check and budget, everything will happen in Bangalore. So we request our Selva sir and Minister sir, if possible, to hand over that checks to the winners. So as part of the program, we are conducting in the regular interaction with multiple people to share the experience and share the opportunities what we have with the government and the private sector. Because many of the students not even aware what kind of opportunities are available. And luckily we have you are into both industry side and this side, so you know better than any other people. So it's good to have you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Ma'am, as of now, we are not live. Once you let us know when we can link to go live, there won't be any student or any beneficiary who will be joining this particular Google Meet. They will all be watching this on YouTube. Whenever you give us the permission to go live, we'll go live. So I'll just quickly, we've sent the talking points to you, but I'll just talk to you on the flow of the session. I'll just initially introduce the project and then the key organizations in the project. Then I will introduce you, ma'am, and follow. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to today's fireside chat conducted as part of the Karnataka Youth Innovation Dialogue, brought to you by the Project Code Unnati, an initiative spearheaded by the Government of Karnataka, Karnataka Skill Development Corporation, SAP Labs, and UNDP. Every dialogue, we have a leading luminary from the government, bureaucracy, industrialists, investors, and from emerging youth entrepreneurs who will discuss and provide expertise on issues that are relevant to the youth of Karnataka. And they'll share their experience and they'll guide the youth on what they know best. Before I introduce today's honorable guests, I would like to introduce Project Code Unnati and the Karnataka and KSDC to bring this initiative live and relevant to the youth of Karnataka. As part of Project Code Unnati, the Government of Karnataka, KSDC, United Nations Development Program, they have collaborated with SAP Labs India and United Nations Volunteers for a multi-year partnership to empower youth and women for future employability skills and entrepreneurship across the 4 districts of Karnataka: Bengaluru Rural, Raichur, Dakshin Kannada, and Ramnagara. SAP Labs, as we all know, is the market leader in enterprise application software, and their latest forays in market learning, in machine learning, in artificial intelligence is all there for everyone to know. A top 50 Fortune company who's supporting the project through their expertise, through funding, and the United Nations Development Program is a United Nations organization tasked with helping countries eliminate poverty to achieve sustainable economic growth. Headquartered in New York City, this is present in 170 countries. And I will now take the absolute pleasure of introducing today's guest. We have with us Ms. Swaroopa TK, Madam, IAS, who is the Additional Mission Director of Sanjeevini, and as part of KSRLPS, the Government of Karnataka initiative. Madam completed her BTech in Textile Technology from GSK, SK, Government Shri Krishna Rajendra Silver Jubilee Technological Institute, and then pursued her master's from IIT Delhi. Worked as part of the Joint Director in Karnataka Udyoga Mitra before taking over her role currently as the Additional Mission Director of Sanjeevini, looking after the National Livelihood Mission. Very warm welcome to you, ma'am, to today's webinar, which is also known as the Innovation Dialogue as part of Project Code Unnati. Very warm welcome.
Thank you, Vinod.
Thank you. We also have with us Govindraj Jayachandran sir, who is the state project head of UNDP in Karnataka, who looks after multiple projects of UNDP in different states that he oversees. And as part of Project Code Unnati, he is responsible for guiding and also overseeing the efforts of the implementing partners, ensure that the beneficiaries, the intended beneficiaries of the project, are given the right exposure and the benefits as part of this particular project. So I very warmly welcome Govindraj Jayachandran sir. Very warm welcome to today's innovation.
Thank you, Vinod.
Thank you. And as part of this particular project, as the viewers would know, the innovation dialogue is basically a conversation with the guests of the day, the person who has that expertise who will come in. And for today, let me just kickstart this session by a very apt question that everyone has. So, ma'am, as part of the NLM, what are the main aims of NRLM and NULM? If you could just shed some light on the two key initiatives of NLM.
NRLM is the National Rural Livelihood Mission, and NULM is the National Urban Livelihood Mission. In Karnataka, they have been brought together as a National Livelihood Mission. Now, the main purpose of the mission is these are poverty alleviation scheme conducted in coordination with central government. So there is a budgetary sharing between the two, and the focus is to eliminate poverty, and we do that through systematic, community-based activities. We form SHGs, self-help groups, and these are basically women self-help groups. We work with women groups only, and there is provision for men to join these groups only under the disabled category. Otherwise, it's all women beneficiaries. We work with the SECC data, socioeconomic census data, wherein we identify the rural poor and the urban poor, works on BPL data. So we build community organizations, and through the community organizations, we undertake a lot of activities, which include, social development, skill development, livelihood activities. And that is, in a small picture of what we do.
So the focus of the project or the initiative is to empower women predominantly, and if there are men in the disabled sector. Any other hard criteria that you have for beneficiaries to be a part of these initiatives of the government?
No, we cover all the SECC data, people from the SECC data. It was, I think, about 28 lakh households to be covered. We have nearly covered 27 lakh now. So therefore, we have now broadened the category that we cover. We are undertaking what is called the participatory identification of poor. Now, this is a community-based method of identifying poor in the local areas, and the community itself participates in identifying who is poor in the community. Like, for example, in a village, in a gram panchayat. So there is a process-oriented approach, and we hope that it will expand the numbers for us. We have already covered the SECC data, and that is already 2011 data. Now with COVID, we think poverty levels may have gone up. So keeping that in mind, we have changed the approach now. This year we are changing it. So we think it will increase the numbers. So
that's the number of people.
Yes.
Sorry, please continue.
The number of people to be covered.
Okay. So a question that has come in is, what is the definition of poor as per this project? Is it as per the poverty line definition, or is that slightly more relaxed?
As I said earlier, we are following the data that is already identified as poor in the SECC census.
Okay.
The urban areas, whoever is identified as below poverty line, they are the ones that are being covered. But now we are undertaking the PIP, and it is possible that those who are not in the SECC data list can get included. So that is a possibility, yes. Because the community will decide who is poor.
Correct. So, as part of this Project Code Unnati, the focus is on, let's say, youth and women. And of especially UNDP's encouragement to the implementing partners is to encourage students from the government colleges, the ITIs, the polytechnics, the diploma background students, as well as women who are from the self-help groups. So now, if a particular participant or a beneficiary is from one of these target segments, they are poor, what can they do next to utilize the features and the facilities provided by the NLM initiative? What can they do next? What are their action items for them?
See, anybody who is older than 18 can join these groups. They can join the self-help group in their area. And we have a lot of initiatives for, engaging them. They can take up skill training or even livelihood activities where it is independent enterprises. Based on local resources, it could be different, animal husbandry, farming, mushroom cultivation, poultry, whatever is locally convenient for them, and whatever resources they already have, they can make use of that. The SHGs, we also give what is called revolving fund to the SHGs. There is also a community investment fund that we give to the GPLFs, and the SHGs can indent it from the GPLFs. Now, GPLF is the federation of SHGs in the Gram Panchayat. Now, this can be used as an initial startup capital. It is given as a loan to the member to start up a small micro, nano kind of small enterprise. Then we have the bank linkages. We facilitate bank linkages so they can take credit from the banks and gradually increase their scale. And with reference to skill training, we have the RCTs. Now, through RCTs, there is I think about 32 types of trades are being trained, are being provided for. So the youngsters can identify the trade they are interested in and enroll themselves in these trainings.
Okay, wonderful. So I'll leave this question. The focus of this innovation dialogue was to know about government and private sector initiatives to promote entrepreneurship. Now, you've spoken about the how NLM look at participatory inclusion of poor, they're excluded from the SCCs. You looked at how the RCTs can support them. You looked at bank linkages. Now, I leave this question to both of you, ma'am and Chandan sir. What do you think has been the detail, as in the support from the private sector to such initiatives? Do you feel the private sector is really supporting the government in such initiatives?
Vinod, could you please repeat? I was losing your voice for a minute.
Madam, I said from your conversation and from your update, we find that a lot of government initiatives are there for the poor. Meaning, you have, like you said the RCTs, you said there are bank linkages, government link bank linkages, the Sanjeevini scheme, etc. All of that being provided. Now, do you feel, since the topic is on government to support this, do you feel that the private sector is also supporting the government in a good way? Because in this particular project, SAP Labs is, but overall from a government system, do you feel private sector is supporting the government initiatives?
Yeah, definitely. You see, this is a project that can bring about a social transformation. Now, government alone cannot do this all by itself. So we need civil society and private sector, corporate sector to actively engage in this, in this program. There are various ways, and how we can engage with the civil society and the corporates. And definitely, we need all the support and help to take this initiative forward.
And I know that's one particular project that both UNDP as well as the NLM has worked on. A lot of someone has asked about the Sanjeevini program and the Santes that came in as in there. I know that happened in the Vidhan Sauda. So there were a lot of women entrepreneurs who are looking at handicrafts, etc. Just wanted an idea on what this particular initiative of the government is.
You mean the exhibition that we did?
Yeah, correct. The Sanjeevini program and the Santes.
So we have various programs for enabling the providing market to the SHG to the products of the SHG women members. One of these initiatives was the exhibition we conducted in Vidhan Soda, in ARI, as well as the various Saras Melas. What we do is we conduct monthly markets at the taluk levels and district levels every month. And the SHGs are actually the GPLFs are encouraged to conduct it on their own. So we identify one of the GPLFs to see and enable them to take up the activity of conducting the monthly market. Initially, we ourselves play a greater role, but gradually we want the community to take it over. So apart from monthly markets, we conduct at divisional levels, and even at national level, it's called the Saras. The idea is, you see, the SHG products, it's a long way for them to, it's a kind of supported market, where government is playing a role in helping them find market for their products. Taking them to the common general market is again a long journey, where they need a lot of branding support, packaging, so much more support is required for them to go into the general market. So these are initial steps for them to reach out to the general market. Vinod, I'm not able to hear you.
So, Charan sir, as part of the UNDP's work in Karnataka and in other states, what is UNDP's initiatives other than Project Code Unnati on enabling the youth of Karnataka? Charan sir?
Yeah, so as you know, as we are working with multiple stakeholders in Karnataka and multiple other states, so we are promoting this youth entrepreneurship, one of the major focus. So here we are working in this youth, one project Code Unnati, but we also have similar projects in other states. So where we are supporting the youth to start the green entrepreneurship and livelihood related programs, and scaling up the startups who already startup but they want to scale up to mentorship and handholding support. So we provide a lot of other support system to the existing system. So all the entire program, what we design is, we identify the gap in the existing system and design the program based on the need of the community. And we work with multiple stakeholders to create a bridge between all of them and connect them with the multiple opportunities so that they can start and scale up their enterprises. So that's what we do.
Well, we've seen firsthand in terms, not just in this particular project, but overall, the ethos of UNDP as well as NLM is to encourage students not just to be job seekers, but also job providers. A few questions that have come in is a lot of news in the media is about people who have a lot of funds and a lot of connects and exposure in urban areas. I don't have any of those. Do you think I should entrepreneurship? From your experience, ma'am and sir, if you feel some sort of your few snippets of experience that you've seen others, your own experience, if you can share, what such students and such beneficiaries should think about. I don't have what would share your experience for this question. I don't have funds, I don't have connects, but I have an idea. Do you think I should pursue entrepreneurship?
Funds there are several government schemes where funds are available, whether it is the Mudra loan. In the Mudra loan, in three categories, the youth, and there are three categories where you can access funds. And we have the Prime Minister's Rozgar Yojana, we have Chief Minister's Rozgar Yojana also. So in all these schemes, we can easily take up. If it is a IT related topic, then the IT department has a lot of support for startups. So there are already a network of incubators set up by various other departments, and the youth, depending on the area of their interest, the idea in which they have, the area, depending on that, they can easily tap into one of these incubators. And definitely they will find a lot of support. These incubators are having a lot of funders, whether it is angel investors or government schemes itself. These incubators are tied up with them, and they will also mentor how to take this forward in a little bit structured way. There'll be, very supportive services are being offered by the incubators, and it will be good for the youth to interact with them and understand it for themselves whether the idea can actually grow. So it is quite possible. I would say you should look at enabling employment than looking for employment.
Wonderful. Absolutely. And Chandan sir, since women is one of the key focus areas for NLM, we also know that in Project Code Unnati, one of the key focus areas, one key stream of the project is on women entrepreneurs. So if you could shed some light on that particular project for our women and girl student and beneficiaries who are listening to this. So what is the support that UNDP provides to them?
So here, there are a lot of, as Madam suggested, there are a lot of government support system as well as the private support systems are available. So through ITBT department, there are a lot of incubation centers who is willing to support these startups. So NASCOM 10K startups is supporting the ITES related startups, and there is a biotechnology related startups. Then ITBT department itself, there are 7 startup support systems are created, inclusive of incubation centers. Addition to that, Government of India Innovation and Incubation Centers, Atal Innovation Mission is there, and we also have a engineering college incubation centers. The students needs to go with an idea, so they will be able to give you the place for setting up, creating the prototype, and they will be giving you the mentorship support, handholding support, and then financial support as well. So these are the government support. Similarly, there are private sector also. For example, IIM Bangalore is only for exclusive for women. They have a incubation center, so they are supporting a lot of women to start and scale the enterprises. They start a foundation, Sandbox, that's a Kubli. So they have a huge campus, and they are supporting every year on an average 150 to 200 startups. And in Mangalore also there is a Government of India supported startups are available. So the only thing is the awareness is not aware. They are not aware. The student community is not aware of the process, where it is available, how to approach. So through our program, if we can able to create this awareness and the list of incubation center and the list of people who they can contact and what is the purpose, then we have done. So we can able to connect these people. So end of the day, these are the facilities are existing. So we need to create this awareness so that they can get benefit out of these programs.
Wonderful. So in continuation to the points that Ma'am and Sir mentioned, many the support that is given by multiple sources are many and regular and substantial. And just one thing that is probably lacking is the awareness. There are a lot of government schemes. There are a lot of schemes by agencies like the UNDP and other world bodies who are consistently and continuously supporting youth entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, and even people who need these skill sets and livelihoods as part of their plan for life. Now, just as part of this particular project, we also wanted to inform our youth in Raichur and Karnataka who have tuned in that we have the startup challenge of Project Code Unnati on the 20th, which is the coming Monday, in Raichur in SLN College of Engineering, and in 27th for both Bangalore Rural and Ramnagar, the startup challenge being conducted at Sri Krishna Institute of Technology in the Hesargata campus. And for people who've been shortlisted, there are people who tuned in to know what else could be done by you. There's a lot of support. So if you have been shortlisted, if you've been invited, request you to kindly come into the startup challenge with the total prize money of rupees 15 lakhs as seed money to be given, rather not prize money, seed money to be given to the successful entrepreneurs. I want to thank. Before I thank, I just wanted to know if, ma'am, you and sir, do you want any other points that you wanted to convey? Apart from these are some of the questions that we received prior to the session. Are there any points that you would like to raise what was discussed today for the benefit of our audience? If you have anything to add that was not asked by the audience or anything that you want to shed light on. Ma'am, over to you.
I would like to add just one thing. The Department of Youth, Youth and Sports, they also have what are called Yuva clubs, youth clubs. That is also a good place for you, for the youngsters to look up for opportunities, employment opportunities there. And yes, if there are girls and they can join, if they're above 18, they can join us in the SHGs, and we are here to facilitate their trainings and take it through the SHG mechanism. So we can take up entrepreneurial activities. We explore. There's a lot. It's a very vast, wide ground. We work in every sector. So if they join us, definitely they will be able to explore all that we offer. And especially, we also internally have a tie-up with IAMB now. We are signing, probably next week we'll sign the MOU for setting up a rural incubator. So that is to help the SHG enterprises to scale up to a certain state level kind of scaling up enterprises. We have tie-up with TIE Bangalore to identify 100 women entrepreneurs and groom them to a certain scale. So we have a lot of activities where livelihood through enterprises we are promoting. So yes, they can join us through the SHG groups. And for the boys itself, you can take in the RCT trainings. You have the Yuva clubs and they will help you and guide you. The industries department is there. And there are several other departments like ITBT also, where they can explore the startup challenges or startup packages they offer. Startup schemes are there. They can explore all this and see what works for them. You have private sector incubators also, like Makers Labs. They are also very, very helpful, and they also offer a lot of mentorship and support in identifying the right credit facility for the kind of product and the kind of entrepreneur or geographical area they're looking, or the sector that they're looking at. So that kind of networks also help. So that will be really good to explore all these.
So wonderful, ma'am. So you covered one. Yes.
Sorry, 1 second. So, madam, if
Yes.
I request you to just brief about the DIC's roles and responsibilities at the district level, because all this youth can go to the DIC to get multiple other support system as well. So, if you could brief that, it will be valid.
Yeah. So DIC is the District Industry Center. It is there in every district and is headed by the Joint Director. You can meet the Joint Director in this regard. We conduct entrepreneurship awareness programs and EDPs also, entrepreneurship development programs, wherein how to set up an industry, an enterprise, what does it take, what are the activities you have to consider, how do you identify the idea and how to reach out to finances, where do you access them, where do you access technology, or if it is exports, how are exports conducted. All these are being imparted as training modules. So you can reach out to the DIC in your district. Usually they are there in the DC, close to the DC's office or the CEO's office. Apart from that, there is TechSoft and CDOC also. They also offer. They are our training partners actually. Now they are in the skill department, but they conduct these entrepreneurship programs. There also you can reach out and take the necessary trainings. Any of these organizations will help you tie up with the bankers. The DIC plays the major role, including the Prime Minister's Rozgar Yojana, Chief Minister's Rozgar Yojana, or even the Mudra loans. They will help you. They also have this cluster development program where if you already have a product, they try to bring in, develop clusters among the same products or same services also. Those also can be explored. So yes, you can reach out to DICs. Our joint directors will be very happy to support you there.
So as continuation to what ma'am said about having an idea, and then if you connect and reach out to the relevant people, DSDOs, etc. In this particular startup challenge in Raichur, we have the regional managers and the general managers coming in from nationalized banks who are also going to come in and guide students and entrepreneurs on how their ideas can be utilized to pitch for loans. So coming to the list of questions that we have from the participants, I think we've had a very focused and very fruitful discussion led by ma'am on multiple aspects. So what I take away from this discussion is the NLM is not focused on one aspect of the population in Karnataka, whether it is women, whether it is youth, whether it is rural, whether it is urban, whether it is poor, whether it is slightly well off. I think the government, as per the motto, and then the bureaucrats associated with the government, are looking at supporting entrepreneurs of all kinds in all places. So this is not a Bangalore-centric scheme. This is not a city-centric scheme. This is a scheme, or rather the initiative of the government across the state. And that is also the motive of UNDP as well as SAP as part of this project, to ensure that the growth is not restricted to one district or one part of Karnataka. We looked at how the urban poor are identified by the NLM project. We looked at how the SHGs are looking at skill development, livelihood development, as well as entrepreneurship, how the RCTs are looking at around 32 plus types of trades and supporting people there, how the bank linkages are provided, because finance is one key aspect when it comes to the success and failure of an enterprise. And ma'am spoke in length about the Sanjeevini and the SHG schemes. We had UNDP speak about other projects like the green entrepreneurship, and then gave a wonderful summary on the Mudra loan, the PM Rozgar Yojana, the incubators by the IT department, the angel investors who can SCOM Foundation, innovation mission. So when we heard Peak, we could make out she's a walking treasure trove of knowledge on what is practical, what is useful, what is relevant to the youth in these particular states, in these particular districts in the state of Karnataka. And then we also got to know from the private sector and the NGO space what all support is being provided, whether it is the Deshpande Foundation. And also ma'am brought in a new aspect. A lot of people, youth, come in and have ideas about sports, and I want to make the livelihood there. How is the Yuva Club coming in is what madam very clearly and beautifully brought out there. And the initiatives of NLM, how they're tying up with IMB for the rural incubators and the SHGs, the initiative with TIE Bangalore on 100 women and 100 women entrepreneurs, and not just for women always, also the boys. Madam mentioned about that. So I think in this short duration of 30 minutes, we gotten to know a lot. And then finally, when Chandan sir posed this question about clarifying the role of the DICs, this is there, like as the name suggests, the district. It's there in every district, and madam suggested that we reach out to the joint directors there and the government staff there and utilize their training programs, entrepreneurship awareness programs, and also utilize the services of CDOC. So I think it was very knowledgeable, definitely for me, and I'm guessing it was very knowledgeable for actually participants. We have had women entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, both in terms of students as well as young women. And I want to thank madam. Madam came in and gave very practical but thorough application that the student can do. So there are the checkbox and tick marks that the student can take immediately. It was not a theoretical discussion both by Swaroopa ma'am and Jayachandran sir, practical aspects. And so I take it away that the government is not focused only on one aspect. The entire state, bureaucracy rather, the entire state they're responsible for it, and they're taking that initiative to promote entrepreneurship in the entire state to multiple avenues. So Swaroopa ma'am, IAS Additional Mission Director for the NLM, many thanks ma'am. I think you spent your Friday evening with 30 minutes of the most productive discussion for all of us on this side of the call. So thank you very much ma'am for agreeing to be a part of this discussion and sharing your insights and experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jayachandran sir, and for the UNDP team and Project Code Unnati and the SAP Labs team for ensuring students across the 4 project districts also get this additional help from. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
So with this, we come to the Karnataka Youth Innovation Leela. We will continue this forward in our next installment with one such luminary like madam will come in and share their experiences and their tips. So thank you so much to all the participants, and thank you so much to our distinguished guests. Thank you once again, Swaroopa ma'am and Jayachandran sir. Thank you.